Hey guys, welcome back to another today's video. And in this new today's video, it's going to be a brand new video part of my video series of breaking up the two-party duopoly. And in this new video, this is going to be talking about another candidate running for governor of New Jersey, in the year of 2021. It's more, she's a lot more different from, this candidate's a lot more different from Greg Mealy because she is not that conservative as Greg Mealy. But she is still a left-wing, she's still a third-party candidate nonetheless, and I'm all still about giving a voice to many third-party candidates that are running for office in 2021, 2022, and 2024. And neither I might disagree with her on some of her ideas and policies. Everyone, like what I said before in all my videos, everyone has great ideas and everyone has great solutions on how we can make our state, our district, and our communities and our country better for all people. So now let's begin talking about the Green Party candidate. She's currently, and her name is Madelyn R. Hoffman, running for governor of New Jersey. She was a peace and environmental activist. She was a former Green Party candidate for vice president back in 1996, and she was also she also ran for governor in New Jersey back in the year 1997, and she was also the former U.S. Senate candidate for the Green Party candidate back in the year of 2018 and 2020. And her running mate, Heather Warburton, an activist and talk show host, is also running for lieutenant governor of New Jersey, part of the nominee as Madelyn R. Hoffman's running mate for governor of New Jersey. And like all my other videos where I talked about Greg Mealy and Nicholas Magner and even Stacey Pressman that are running for office, Madelyn R. Hoffman also needs your help getting on the ballot in New Jersey. Her campaign is trying to working really hard to help reach the signatures needed for her to be eligible and qualify for herself on the ballot on the ballot for governor of New Jersey. So even if you don't like what I said before in all my other videos, even if you don't like her as a candidate, still sign your petition digitally, or if you see her locally, sign the petition there. Get to know her, and you never know, you might actually want to consider voting for her on November 2nd of 2021, because you might like her as a person, and you might like a lot of her ideas where she's going to take your state's direction. So even if you don't like her, still sign your petition to help give more of your fellow New Jerseyans a candidate that they can get behind this November. And just like that, now let's begin talking about her as a candidate and her campaign and why she's running. Her main slogan is "For the people, for New Jersey." And like what I said before, I will link in all my previous videos where I talked about the other third-party candidates that are running for mayor of New York City, running for governor of Virginia, and also running for governor of New Jersey as well, and even running for New Jersey Legislative District 4. I will link her petition, I will link her Twitter, and I will link her campaign website in the comment section below. So if you guys want to check her out even more, and if you do live in New Jersey, still sign her petition to help her get on the ballot to give more of your fellow New Jerseyans a real voice this November, so we can together break up the two-party system for generations, and I mean generations to come, that will reimagine New Jersey and will reimagine the promise of America for all time. So now let's talk about her and her running mate as a person and where they're going to take your state. So meet the team. And then this is their bios. Madelyn Hoffman was the Green Party of New Jersey's candidate for U.S. Senate in 2020. She ran a record-setting campaign, garnering 38,288 votes, the most of any New Jersey Green running for statewide office since Ralph Nader in 2000. Madelyn Hoffman was also Ralph Nader's vice presidential running mate in New Jersey in 1996. She served as the executive director of the Grassroots Environmental Organization of New Jersey from 1982 to 1998. and as the executive director of New Jersey's Peace Action from 2000 from 2018. She's an adjacent professor of political science and also public speaking. She currently lives in Flanders. Heather Warburton is an artist and activist from South Jersey. She hosts a bi-weekly podcast on Create Your Future production called Wine, Woman, and Revolution, where she discusses revolutionary politics from an intersectional feminist perspective. She has been a Green since 2016. Her activism has included fighting for a living wage, educating on income inequality, supporting ecological justice, advocating for the LGBTQIA community, hosting education sessions about cannabis legalization, and promoting racial justice. She currently lives in Hamilton, I could be pronouncing it wrong, with her husband and his pet mom to rescue a cat and dog. And just like that, they are two incredible ladies that have great ideas on where to take your state. Even though I might disagree with them on some issues, because they are more of a, I would say, more left wing and more progressive on this issue. They all have great ideas. These two ladies have great ideas and solutions where to take your state, New Jerseyans, for the better. So. And now let's talk about some of their platform on where they stand on some of the issues. And let's actually start on the grassroots democracy. And this is something I actually I completely agree with them on, honestly, in my opinion, because I think this country needs drastic electoral reform to actually change the way we elect our leaders. Madelyn Hoffman supports comprehensive reforms to make New Jersey more democratic. Some highlights include ranked choice voting, ballot restructuring, lowering the voting age to 16 years of age, which I strongly disagree with, restoring the voting rights of the incarcerated population, expanding civics education across all age levels, and a move to proportional representation in New Jersey's legislature and of New Jersey's electoral votes. Just like that, she is completely for implementing ranked choice voting in New Jersey in every corner of your state. In all honesty, in my opinion, I wholeheartedly agree with this proposal. I think ranked choice voting is a good system to actually get us to think outside of the two-party system, but as well to help give candidates help making sure candidates can actually vote for candidates, can vote for their favorite candidate without fearing in doing so that they're going to accidentally split the vote and they're going to accidentally help elect the candidate they like the least. So no longer voters are going to feel pressured to vote for the lesser of the two evils. So this is something, this voting structure is what Madelyn Hoffman supports in her run for governor of New Jersey as the nominee of the Green Party. As well, she also supports, for fair ballot design. Madelyn wants to push for legislation in the New Jersey State Legislature to immediately mandate the complete restructuring of New Jersey's ballots to eliminate party lines and create nonpartisan race-by-race elections and for all offices in the state in both primary and general election, which I still completely. Neither I respect her. I still disagree with this part, her idea. And you guys know why I do not think this is a good idea as well. And like what I said before, and some of our other ideas on building a better democracy for New Jersey to make it more democratic is as part of Madelyn Hoffman's Green New Deal reforms would be made all around to improve New Jersey's democratic process. The Green New Deal will revoke corporate personhood by amending our state constitution to make clear that corporations are not persons and money is not speech. Those rights belong to a living, breathing human being, not to business entities controlled by the wealthy. Number two, protect our right to vote. by supporting Representative Jesse Jackson Jr.'s proposed right to vote amendment to clarify to the Supreme Court that yes, we do have a constitutional right to vote. Continue to support the vote by mail option for primaries and for the general election. The 2020 election saw an unprecedented voter participation rate, giving people 1 month to vote, drop-off boxes, and more allowed more people to participate easily and without hassle. Enact the voter Bill of Rights that will guarantee us a voter-marked paper ballot for all voting. Requires that all voters are counted before election results are released. Release partisan oversight of elections with nonpartisan election commissions. Celebrate our democratic aspirations by making Election Day a national holiday. Bring simplified safe same-day voter registration to New Jersey so that no qualified voter is barred from the polls. Do away with the so-called winner-take-all elections in which the winner does not have the support of most of the voters, and replace a system with instant runoff voting and proportional representation systems most advanced countries now use to good effect. 7, lower the voting age to 16 years of age in New Jersey. 8, replace big money control of election campaigns with full public financing and free and equal access to airwaves. 9, guarantee equal access to the ballot and to the debates to all qualified candidates. 10, move the proportional allocation of New Jersey's electoral votes in the presidential election and restore the vote to ex-offenders who paid their debate to society. 5, strengthen the media democracy by expanding state support for locally owned broadcast media and local print media with grants. 6, Madelyn's administration will also strive to be as transparent as possible about what it is doing at all times in order to prevent the covering up of institutional problems that happen in both the Murphy and Christie administration. Madelyn also supports a reanalysis of the state budget to find places to cut waste and better maximize taxpayer revenue. Wow, she has really, honestly, have great ideas. And even though I disagree with some of them, like lowering the voting age to 16 years of age and pushing more for nonpartisan elections, I actually agree with her on the allocation of New Jersey's, like moving to more of a proportional allocation of New Jersey's electoral votes, and also proposing ranked choice voting and actually making ranked choice voting the law of the land in the Garden State, and also working really hard to implementing proportional representation in New Jersey state legislature. Because ultimately, in my opinion, that will make New Jersey's elections and all of our elections fair to all parties, fair to every single voter, and so more and more people feel like they have a voice in the executive branch, and also feel like they have more of a voice in the legislature as well. So she does have great ideas on how she thinks how we should strengthen our democracy, like ranked choice voting, which I full-heartedly agree with. But I do, and she also believes that making New Jersey more democratic is by lowering the voting age to 16 years of age, which I disagree with, simply because I think it should still remain at 18 years of age. But she is entitled to her opinion. I will respect her ideas, but that's where she really stands on the whole idea of electoral reform, or how she says it, grassroots democracy, making New Jersey far more democratic for all people. Because like what I said before, what her main campaign is for the people, for New Jersey. She will be a fighter for you, New Jerseyans. Now let's actually talk about a couple more. Let's actually go to healthcare and where she stands on healthcare. Madelyn Hoffman, for healthcare, Madelyn Hoffman supports improved and expanded Medicare for all as a human right all across New Jersey. The lack of universal health care is currently hurting families all around New Jersey in the most vulnerable of times. We don't need health systems influenced by corporate interests. We need health care that actually is health care. We need families to be caring about their families during times of need and not burdened by the outrageous cost of health care. Medicare for all is a great start, but Madelyn agrees that it must be improved and expanded. Our recent experience as a state handling and distributing vaccinations for COVID-19 has shown us that it is possible to provide health services to all without a fee. Imagine if all health services could be handled in that manner. And how are we going to pay for it? New Jersey's wastes significant amounts of money on policing. While bringing the state closer to social justice by defunding the police, more funds are left for other more important things. Additionally, the Green New Deal will revitalize New Jersey's economy to generate more revenue for the public good than ever before. Madelyn supports single-payer universal health care and preventative care for all. We believe that healthcare is a right, not a privilege. Our current healthcare system lets tens of thousands of people die each year by excluding them from adequate care, while its exorbitant costs are crippling our economy. The United States is the only industrialized nation in the world without a national healthcare system. Under a universal comprehensive national single-payer healthcare system, the administrative waste of private health insurance corporations would be redirected to patient care. If New Jersey were to shift to a system of universal coverage and a single payer plan, as in Canada and many European countries, the savings in administrative costs would be more than enough to offset the cost of additional care. Expenses for businesses currently producing coverage would be reduced, while state and local governments would pay less because they would receive reimbursement for services provided to the previously uninsured. And because public programs would cease to be the dumping ground for high-risk patients and those rejected by health maintenance organizations, HMOs, when they become disabled and unemployed. In addition, people would gain the peace of mind in knowing that they have health care that they need. No longer would people have to worry about the prospect of financial ruin if they become seriously ill and laid off their jobs or are injured in an accident. Madelyn supports a wide range of healthcare services, including conventional medicine, as well as the teaching, funding, and practice of complementary, integrative, and licensed alternative healthcare approaches. Greens recognize that our own health is intimately tied to the health of our communities and environment. To improve our health, we must improve the quality of our air, water, and food, on the health of our workplace, homes, and schools. Madelyn unequivocally, I could be pronouncing it wrong, supports a woman's right to reproductive choice, no matter her marital status or age, and the contraception and safe legal abortion procedures be available on demand and be included in all health insurance coverage in the New Jersey, as well as free of charge where a woman's income falls below the poverty level. Ultimately, right there, she really support, and I'll let you guys check out where she stands on other healthcare pay. I didn't get to all of it, but she does support Medicare for all. She supports a publicly funded national universal healthcare system for the state for all New Jerseyans, because she ultimately believes healthcare is a right and not a privilege, and that's where she really stands. And let's check out another thing on environmental justice. Madelyn Hoffman supports a real eco-socialist Green New Deal similar to the one proposed by Howie Hawkins over a decade ago. While ideally this legislation would come from the federal government, Madelyn would support creating a state-level legislation to support such policies here in New Jersey until it is passed federally. A real Green New Deal, what Democrats such as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez have proposed, is hardly the beginning of what we need to do to ensure environmental justice. The Green Party's eco-socialist Green New Deal encompasses two major programs: an economic bill of rights and a green economy reconstruction program. The economic bill of rights, which could be added to New Jersey's state constitution, would finally fulfill President Roosevelt's 1944 call upon Congress to develop programs to secure basic economic human rights for all. A Green New Deal reconstruction program would not only build a 100% clean energy system by 2030, but would reconstruct all economic sectors for all ecological sustainability, from agricultural and manufacturing to housing and transportation. Implementing the Green New Deal would require working towards eco-socialism, social ownership in key sectors in order to democratically plan the coordinated reconstruction of all economic sectors for ecological sustainability. The Green New Deal is a four-part program for moving America quickly out of crisis into a secure, sustainable future, inspired by the New Deal programs that helped us out of the Great Depression of the 1930s. The Green New Deal will provide similar relief and create an economy that makes our communities sustainable, healthy, and just. The four pillars of the Green New Deal. One, the Economic Bill of Rights. Our country cannot truly move forward until the roots of inequality are pulled up and the seeds of a new, healthier economy are planted. Thus, the Green New Deal begins with an Economic Bill of Rights that ensures all citizens, one, the right to employment through a full employment program that will create 25 million good paying jobs nationwide. Many of those right here in New Jersey by implementing a nationally funded but locally controlled direct employment initiative, replacing unemployment offices with low employment offices offering public sector jobs which are stored in job banks in order to take up any slack in private sector employment. Two, local communities will use a process of broad stakeholders input and democratic decision-making to fairly implement these programs. Pay-to-play prohibition will ensure that campaign contributions or lobbying favors do not impact decision-making. We will end up in employment in New Jersey once and for all by guaranteeing a job at a living wage for every American willing and be able to work. Workers' rights, including the right to a living wage, to a safe workplace, to fair trade, and to organize a union at work without fear of firing of reprisal. The right to quality health care, which will be achieved through a single-payer Medicare for All program. The right to a tuition-free, quality, federally funded, local controlled public education system from preschool through college. We will also forgive student loan debt from the current era of unaffordable college education. The right to decent, affordable housing, including an immediate halt to all foreclosures and evictions. Wow. Ultimately, in my opinion, you might disagree with her on some issues like Medicare for All, because I don't think Medicare for All is a good approach to making healthcare much more affordable and free for everyday Americans. She does have great ideas. She still has great ideas and great solutions that I think that many more New Jerseyans and many more Americans need to hear from her. Need to hear from so many other third-party candidates, because ultimately they all have great ideas, in my opinion. So if you really don't like her as a candidate, or if you do actually like her, consider signing a petition. Even if you don't like her, still sign your petition to give more of your fellow New Jerseyans a real voice this November to reimagine New Jersey for generations to come that will break up the two-party duopoly for ultimately for generations to come. And because ultimately, in my opinion, real power resides in us to really shake up the two-party system, in my opinion. And that's why I enjoy making these type of videos, simply because I think it's time for all of us, for all Americans, for all New Jerseyans, for all Californians, for all Michiganders and Pennsylvanians, I could be pronounced, for all Texans and for all Floridians and for all Americans to really think outside the two-party system, to really think that we don't have to live with two parties, live with the Democrats and Republicans forever. There's other parties out there. And people like Madelyn Hoffman and Greg Mealy and Nicholas Magner, they all have great ideas. And I know there's some left-wing people that do watch my videos on here. I won't name them, but this is the candidate that you can get behind for good if you do live in New Jersey. This is a candidate that you can actually get behind because I know you guys support environmental justice, and I know you guys support Medicare for all. And even if you might not be old enough to vote, still talk about her with friends and family and help her get her on the ballot by promoting her, by talking with friends and family and your local neighbors who are eligible, who are old enough to vote and who are old enough to sign the petition to actually help her get on the ballot. And even if your friends and neighbors don't really like her as a candidate, still get them to sign the petition and because to allow more of your New Jerseyans, more of your fellow New Jersey, whether if it's being conservative, liberal, centrist, progressive, and so on, to give more of those people a real voice where they can get behind a candidate they truly believe in for all time and for all that they can truly believe in this November. So ultimately, tell me what you guys think about her as a candidate. And I will, yet again, I'm going to repeat myself again. I will link her petition, link her Twitter and her campaign website for you to check out. And if you are, and if you guys do live in New Jersey, sign her petition, like how I told you to sign Greg Muley's and Princess Blanding and Brad Foreman's petition to allow more of your fellow New Jerseyans, more of your fellow Virginians, and more of your fellow Americans a real voice this November in the year of 2021. So tell me what you guys think about her as a candidate, and don't forget to like and subscribe and talk about other third-party candidates that are running for office in 2021, 2022, and 2024, because I will promote them on this channel to give more third-party candidates a real voice in future elections to come, because they are the real underdogs to reimagine the promise of America for generations to come. So once again, guys, thank you so much for watching, and this is the Young Centrist, and I am out.